Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's Full Potential Show. I'm James Rick, and this is your number one non-boring source for personal development. And today on the line, we have Jeffrey Davis. Jeffrey is the founder and chairman of Mage LLC, one of New England's leading management consulting firms. He is a nationally and internationally sought-after speaker, regularly called upon by the media as a resource on managing the challenges faced by organizations trying to succeed in today's shifting economy, and boy is it shifting. The book that we're going to talk about today is the 24-Hour Turnaround, which is featuring case studies of 6 entrepreneurs in 3 countries that found their way to uncommon success despite the dramatic collapse of the economy in this generation. We're going to talk also about how you can get a copy of the book. And pretty much anybody who's a business owner looking to get into business, looking to turn things around, or is looking to help your company turn things around, you're going to find this show very relevant to you today. Jeffrey, thank you for being here.
Wow, what an introduction. I can go home now.
You can go home. Elvis has left the building. So Jeff, let's dive in. Let's talk about, first of all, the inspiration behind the 24-Hour Turnaround. Why did you write the book?
Well, that's really quite simple. I got together with my co-author, Mark Cohn, and we were quite concerned with everybody's sort of running for the hills attitude during the recent crash the last couple of years ago. And everybody seemed to be not knowing what to do or where to go. And TARP money was only accessible to those very few and select organizations that probably didn't deserve them from our perspective. And we wanted to show entrepreneurs and prospective entrepreneurs that there were a lot of companies out there who were actually doing well in the crash of the economy, despite all the evidence and the media that was depicting a different story. And we wanted to show what they were doing that was making them successful, because what we found out was that they all did the same things, even though they were in 6 industries and 3 different countries.
And so it is good that you got this cross-section of industries and countries to kind of show this is what's going on in the general landscape. Now, did these companies turn things around in this collapsing economy? Is that part of the reason why you named it what you did, because they're doing specific things that had to be corrective, or have they just kind of floated above what's happening? Have they always consistently done well?
At some time or another, they'd all had problems. It wasn't necessarily then. Everybody was concerned at that point in time. But you mentioned the title. The title is a little bit. It needs a little interpretation. A 24-hour turnaround does not mean that you will be making money and being ultimately successful within 24 hours. What the title means is that if you start doing the right things, and it wouldn't take that long, you will be headed in the right path within 24 hours. It's like getting yourself into a diet program or an Alcoholics Anonymous. And in the book, what we do is we show the people what the path is. But what we do during the book is we show how a certain slice of each one of these entrepreneurs experience as entrepreneurs from their own words, not from the author's words. Because each chapter was probably about 50 pages originally, and we cut it down to 8 or 10 pages so that you get a sense of each one of these entrepreneurs and what made them unique in their own way. We didn't think anybody wanted to read a 400-page, business book, so this is a very easily accessible book as well.
Well, it would have made a great paperweight, but now it's just a very condensed and focused book on and helping entrepreneurs. So let's talk about what are some of the key ideas that you discovered in this process of researching these guys. What did you find? Is it across the board, some things that they did, or is each one different depending on their industry? What are some of the universal things that anybody watching or listening right now can take and apply in their business or their life today?
Well, all entrepreneurs make mistakes, and they all have errors, and they're willing to admit them and look up. And good entrepreneurs are always willing to look at that. What made these entrepreneurs somewhat unique, and I go through 10 qualities in the book, or we do, Mark and I, is that these entrepreneurs actually never saw failure as an option. That's one thing. No matter what was put in front of them, they never saw it. And a lot of them faced situations where a lot of entrepreneurs never would have become entrepreneurs or would have shut the doors and gone home. But these people never took no for an answer and really went ahead and did it. The other thing is that each one of these people all had a great sense of their marketplace and what their market was really looking for and the value within the marketplace. each one had a great sense of values about the world around them and the people who worked for them. So not only did that sense of values make them nice people, but it made them the kind of people that people wanted to work for, to dig in hard and roll up their sleeves despite the problems that may have existed around them. And I think those are three of the more common characteristics that I would talk about, because you're not going to want me to go through all 10 today, but I like those three, and those are the three characteristics that really made Mark and I really respect these people.
All right, and I just want to reiterate those. The first one is this persistence of not taking no for an answer, and this applies in the business in general as well as if they're out there. Usually the entrepreneur is the one doing the sales and marketing in the business first. So this mindset of not taking
more
no
than
for
not
an
take
answer
no as an answer. They didn't take failure as an option.
Didn't take
sometimes they wouldn't take failure. Failure was never an option.
So they went into this committed, knowing that no matter what was going to happen, they were going to stay on it and do what needed to be done.
Right, and that inspires people. That really does, when you see that kind of leadership.
Well, and if you can do it, see, I think when you're an entrepreneur just starting something out, the name of the game is survival, isn't it? Because as long as you can survive long enough, you can improve. And as long as you improve long enough, you can start to thrive.
Well, being an entrepreneur is definitely being a different kind of animal and a different beast. And it's a special type of person. Entrepreneurs create 80% of our job creation in this country. So the lifeblood of this economy and the tax base of this economy. And these people really never gave up and always looked forward, took their problems, dealt with them immediately, and always crafted a plan to deal with them and then moved ahead aggressively, even when they didn't have money and even when all looked lost to everyone around them.
Yeah, I've had some of those experiences in my own life, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, you're an entrepreneur as well.
So let's talk about some of these other key ideas that you mentioned, a sense of the marketplace. Did they just get this intuitively? Did they study the marketplace hard before they even went into business? What do you think gave them a great sense of the marketplace and the values that people were looking for in that marketplace?
Well, not all of them came to the marketplace naturally. Some of them did, some of them didn't. Some of them went into businesses because they got recruited. But the one thing that happened was once they were in these businesses, they took it on as if it was their life's work, and so it became their life's passion. It's like taking care of your children or your family. There was no way they were going to let them these struggle. So they became obsessed with their customers and the marketplace and what the marketplace needed to see a value offering coming from these companies and these organizations. And sometimes that meant making incredible upheaval within certain organizations to be able to do that. But once they were focused in on that, it wasn't an individual attack, it wasn't an attack on anything, it was really a focus on doing what was right by the customer.
It's an interesting point that you mentioned. They didn't go into that market necessarily knowing what they were going to do. It's kind of an evolution where they eventually find the market that's going to sustain them.
Entrepreneurs are adaptive animals. They're Darwinian by nature. They might have been trained or studied the market ahead of time, but they're definitely adaptive creatures who learn how to adapt and how to adapt in a successful way.
And the third thing is looking for the values or finding that value, the people working for them. So they really respect and honor the people that work for them and value them as people, and that keeps the team together and that helps to grow and build the team. You found this universal across the board. It was impossible to hold a company together, especially during tough times, unless they had some deep level of respect and value for the team, right?
These people all had a deeper sense of humanity, and it was really inspiring to see that. And, when you're working for somebody and you're worried about, am I going to get a paycheck next week? And I'm not saying this happened in every case, but if you're worried about getting a paycheck and if you're worried about the future of the company, you've got to go in and you've got to look in the eyes of the person who runs the organization, who's responsible ultimately, and say, do I trust that this person is going to give me my best chance to continue to earn a living and to do a good job? And can I trust this person? And that really carried these organizations, level of trust in the intellect and in the integrity of these people.
So, really trust and valuing humanity really does have a bottom line in business too, is what I hear you saying. It's not just these soft topics that people, tend to think business is over here and all this soft, warm, fuzzy stuff's over here. There's actually a correlation between valuing people, building that trust, and then it lends itself to the organization in a way that increases the bottom line and makes it possible to adapt and grow in a marketplace.
Absolutely. Look, it's not all about Wall Street and quick returns on investment. These organizations were all built to last, to sort of steal the quote of that book, Built to Last. And these businesses were built to last and to be around a long time, and they had a long-term vision. It wasn't about, double-digit growth every year. Some of them were very slow growth companies at certain times. These businesses were built to stay around and reinvest in themselves and have a long-term life. And so that had a different perspective from the people who were running them.
And I was just going to say, the distinction there is that with Wall Street and stuff, you have investors coming in to turn a quick buck. Very different from the business growers who must nurture that from the time it's a little baby until it grows older. Very rarely do you see a business owner or entrepreneur that can build an organization from the ground up and have these shady characteristics about them, whereas an investor kind of can just step in, dump some money into it, unload everything that is of no value to them, sell the business, and not care. But a business grower, an entrepreneur, is in a different place, aren't they?
Well, again, a financial investor or a financial company that's looking for a quick turnaround or to flip a company, they're looking at a year to 2 years on an investment. A lot of these people, these businesses are what their life's calling, and these businesses are a reflection of what their lives are about. They're creating for their lives. But they're not looking for multiple companies.
Yeah, powerful ideas here. I mean, basically, it's the difference between growing the fruit and chopping down the tree, and a quick harvest versus sustainability over the long term. I love it. It's a very, very important idea, and the people are at the foundation of it. The book is called The 24-Hour Turnaround. The author is Jeffrey Davis. The website is happyabout.com, and then the /24, the number 24-hour-turnaround. And where else can they pick up the book? I know it's on your website, happyabout.com. Where else can they get the book? Is it on Amazon?
Well, happyabout.com is my publisher, and they're always glad to hear from people who want the book. You can also get it from Amazon.com, and it's, as you said, The 24-Hour Turnaround by Jeffrey Davis and Mark Cohn. If they have trouble getting it, they can always contact me on my personal email, and I can help them, and that's letter J, Davis at mageusa.com.
These are some really important ideas in a tough economy. The 24-hour turnaround really focuses on that pivot that is getting you in the right direction for long-term sustainability and growth. I love the ideas, and I love really the long-term thinking, not only that you have in coming out with this book, but in your case studies, because I think really that's what's lacking in today's leadership, and which is why we're in the position that we're in. Long-term leadership, long-term nurturing instincts. I love these ideas. Jeffrey, thank you for being on the Full Potential Show.
Oh, my pleasure, James, and I look forward to maybe talking to you again, and good luck to all the entrepreneurs out there.
Absolutely. I think they've gleaned some great ideas, and they see that this is not a short-term thing. When you get into business or when you do anything, you want to think about it in a long-term focus. So I really think you're driving home some great ideas. We welcome you back on the show. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of The Full Potential Show, your number one non-boring source for personal development. I'm James Rick, and if you want to get more positive programming for your brain absolutely free on a weekly basis, just visit fullpotential.com.
If you like The Full Potential Show, you're going to love the Full Potential Club. What would you like most as a Full Potential Club member? Be 2 to 3 times more productive? Do what you're passionate about? Have more energy? Reduce your work hours? Travel the world? Enjoy an amazing lifestyle on a frugal budget? What if you could do them all? James Rick has been there and done it in ways that few people have. For anyone serious about taking their life or business to the next level, you know you've got to do more than just watch. You've got to do. Join James Rick and other like-minded people for an incredible $10 a month at fullpotential.com/club. Be educated. Be empowered. Be the best version of you. fullpotential.com/club. Try it free for 30 days.